Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back to another Writer's Wednesday. Preptober is just around the corner, and fun fact, this is my first time doing Preptober. Going along with some goals that I made earlier in the writing process, I have decided to plan out some daily goals for next month for Preptober, while simultaneously doing other projects. Oh my gosh, can I just say like how pale I look? Oh my gosh, I'm so pale. But to make it more fun and exciting, I bought some big posters that I can put on the wall and write down these goals that I have to constantly be on my wall and keep me on track. Without further ado, let's get started. I'd like to preface this with letting you know that most of my videos are scripted, so this one is going to be a little bit different in the fact that I am pretty much going to go completely off script. Since I already have my plan figured out for week 1, I'm just going to be creating these posters, just kind of chit-chatting while I do this project and telling you what I am planning, so maybe if you don't have your Preptober goals all set in stone, this could give you inspiration or an idea to do so. So we will see how this goes. Now that we are set up after like 2 eternities of me switching around the camera, I recently put some blue tape on the ground to say where I want my lights, where I want my tripod, so it was interesting to try and get the right angle while not moving the equipment. Basically what I have done so far is, if you can see and look closely, I actually have already written down everything that I want to do, but I wanted to make sure that it was perfectly in line, so I put some pencil on it first, so then I could at least have an outline of what I'm doing, because that's what today is all about. So my Preptober goals involve a few more things rather than just writing. My Preptober goals also include helping my computer run more smoothly while working on different stories. My computer is very old. I have had it since I was in college. I used and abused it as much as I possibly could, and it's puttering out. But I don't have the money to get another laptop right now, and also I made a beautiful collection of stickers on my laptop, so it's not like I can get rid of it now. So I am trying my best to try and salvage it by getting rid of all of the spare videos and all of these projects that I did in school that really I just don't need anymore. Obviously, the second goal that I have is to write the complete outline of my NaNoWriMo story. I have a couple of plot lines and stories that are in my head where I'm saving them all for NaNoWriMo time because they're single stories, they're pretty simple concepts of plots, and I like to kind of have a plan for the years to come of stories that maybe I'm not completely crazy about, but ones that are worth writing, worth practicing, and hey, maybe even worth publishing at some point. The third plan that I have with NaNoWriMo is to finish and get the ball rolling on my trilogy. I talk about my trilogy a lot on here. My trilogy is my baby. The Escape the Safe House series is really something that I've dedicated years and years to, and honestly, if I had to choose a book that I would like to get well known off of, it would be that book. Because I am proud of the things that I have done with it. I feel like I have grown as an author the most with that. So that's what I dedicate most of my time to. However, I have been spending probably the last 5 years working on it, and I really just want to get to a point where I know that I'm going to be getting somewhere. So I want to see some results with that. I want to make some realistic goals of how I actually want that story to come forward, while at the same time working on other side projects as much as I can. Because from what I've noticed from authors that do gain popularity, their best book is not their first book. And I'm trying to tell myself to be patient and to wait on the Escape the Safe House series and maybe shut up about it a little bit more, because when it's gotten too much hype in the very beginning, then like everyone's going to be either way hyped up about it and then they're going to be disappointed, or there's just going to be like that unfulfilled promise of me trying to get this book out and it doesn't come out soon enough for everybody to keep interest. I'm not sure. But luckily I don't have very many followers on here yet, so it can stay a little bit of like a surprise to people that will read it in the future. But I am trying to look for beta readers to seriously get it into the last draft, so that's going to be part of the goals that I do here. I feel like I can do those projects simultaneously just because they are so different. This reminds me of high school so much. This is a total throwback for me. I didn't want yellow, but that's all the dollar store had, and I didn't really feel like going to Walgreens and paying $2.50 for a poster. I feel like this is a fun way for me to just see what my goals are actually going to be, what my vision is for this year, because I mean this year is just going to be a little bit different than last year. I have done NaNoWriMo before. I wrote a book called Your Not So Local Girl Gang. It's kind of supposed to be a little bit of like the sisterhood of Traveling Pants if I were to compare it to another book. I usually don't write super chick flicky stuff, but it is pretty easy to write. So I'm going to be writing a romance this time. Ta-da! Alright, now that I have gotten to the point where I have the title and half of this poster done, look at how much better you can see it. I will tell you what I am planning on doing for NaNoWriMo. My NaNoWriMo story is going to be called Loud Love. I'm still putting together the details of it. It is a romance, if you couldn't tell by the title. I have actually been thinking about writing this one for a while. Usually I have small budding ideas for a really long time before they actually become genuine good plots that I could use. It is the rock star and shy girl trope, but I think it'll go over interesting problems that people might not usually think a relationship would have. I will need to do quite a bit of research on this one, which I am excited about. But if I am being honest with myself, I'm not sure if I will be able to dedicate the same amount of time to NaNoWriMo as I did last year. Last year, the job that I had, there were a lot of lulls where there just wasn't a lot going on, especially during the winter months. So I was able to write a lot during NaNoWriMo last year, which I think was perfect for my first year. But as far as now, I have 2 jobs. I work 13 hours a day on the weekdays. So really, I only have very few opportunities to write, which is part of the reason I'm taking Preptober so seriously. I'm hoping that if I do Preptober, it will be easier to do NaNoWriMo, and I'll actually be able to achieve some more goals. I know I'm a very big person on this, but if you're actually going to make goals, you need to make sure that they're realistic. I think that that is a downfall a lot of different authors have, is they make these huge lofty goals that they want to achieve, but they don't give themselves the grace of being a normal person, living a normal life, maybe having to have a job to support yourself, maybe not having all of the time that is required to achieve those goals. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't make goals, but you should understand and realize that the goals you are making need to reflect on what you are capable of so that you don't become mentally unhealthy. I feel like a lot of times authors get burnt out. We get burnt out at the fact that we have this huge, amazing dream, but somehow we can't achieve it, and it's because we're expecting ourselves to write 8 chapters a day, which is not It's just not realistic. If you can do that, bravo. I can't. I am hoping that this poster will make me excited. I am already having a lot of fun with it. I feel like this could count as writing. Is it actually writing down pages on your book? No. But I am making goals, I'm making plans, and honestly, I'm feeling good about it. I would highly suggest anyone to do the same. I don't know if there's actually like a legit way to do Preptober or if everybody does it a little bit differently. I'd love to hear different ways of how you do Preptober, because I obviously don't know what I'm doing. Never done this before. I'm just kind of doing my thing of what I know works for me. Luckily, NaNoWriMo this year is on a Saturday, so I actually could stay up until midnight and get a start on NaNoWriMo. I have already written like the first part of the chapter. I know, I always do that. I never actually start from scratch from NaNoWriMo, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of cheating, but I never go past halfway through the first chapter, ever. Then again, I've only done it once, and I would love to go back and see if I can edit that story. I'm gonna pause it real quick, but I will be back. Alright, and she is finished! Hey, from the editing bay. So hard to say editing. My camera ran out of SD room just in time for me to say it's finished, which is great because that was basically the end of the video. Yes, the poster is currently hanging up on my wall right now, and I am making plans to make the other 3 so that I can have the whole month planned. I am thinking about doing a live video talking about what I did on the poster, what I actually wrote on the poster, and how I planned NaNoWriMo, because the way I plan NaNoWriMo is a little bit different than I think what other people would do. But if you guys would still like to see what I did, then I can post that. Sayonara, you guys, and I will see you next time.